electrical class. I can't teach us the whole electrical, but I've been able to take out some parts in electrical to teach us, whereby we talk about solar system, we talk about taking off on solar system and the theory part. We did the ELV, which is the extra low voltage part. We did the earthing system and bonding and the lighting protection. We did fire alarms. Okay, sorry, we did HV, high voltage and low voltage. So, but tonight we'll be talking about one thing, we'll be talking about the HVAC system, which is the heat, ventilation, and air conditioning. So now, if you are talking about heat, ventilation, and air conditioning, please be jotting. There's some things I'm doing that I don't pay money. I'm doing meeting. Please come back. Mama, this one in the next 1 hour. So what I mean that, please let's jot that there's something that is not inside this note that I will be saying. Please let's just take note of that, and let's try and put down into consideration. We have heat, air conditioning, and ventilation. Now, if we are talking about heat, air conditioning, and ventilation, under the air conditioning, we have 3 packages. We have the single unit system, we have the package unit system, and we have the decentralized system. Under the single unit system, we're talking about your normal one. We have our normal AC we use, which is the split unit, or we call it wall mounted. We're talking about your window AC, which this one are the old type. We're talking about your standing AC, and so on and so forth. But if you are talking about centralized system, we're talking about the centralized system. We're talking about VRF, which is the variable refrigerant flow and the variable refrigerant volume. Please let's be jotting, but I will send the particular handout to us. Variable refrigerant flow and the variable refrigerant volume. We'll be talking about your chiller system. We'll be talking about cooling tower. We'll be talking about in this case now, I may not be able to take us on the elongated aspect in HVAC. Now, system, so CMM means cubic feet per minute, and we have revolution per minute. Now, if we are talking about cubic feet per minute, is used to calculate the airflow of that starter fan. And if we are talking about revolution per minute, we'll be talking about revolution means speed. So you can be seeing this whereby they might be writing it. So now, under your air conditioning now, we just go through a particular document. This document, I remember when we were doing a particular class, how to do an estimate for a particular building. So today we do the, can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Today we'll be doing an estimate. Assumption you are being told to do an estimate of the hall on the capacity hall with 50 by 50 length. How do you think you can do a what? An estimate for that? Yeah. How do you think you can do an estimate for that? Now for that you have to calculate 4 things. No, 5 things. Now you have to calculate occupancy ASHRAE standard. Occupancy load is where you have your latent heat and your what? Sensible heat. Now you'll be talking about your electrical gadget, you'll be talking about your miscellaneous, you'll be talking about your exposure, and you now be talking about, if I'm not mistaken, you'll be talking about your lighting load now. You be talking can't share. Let me share again. This thing is avoiding me from sharing. Now, if you are talking about the occupancy load now, like I was saying, that you'll be using an ASHRAE standard. So if you are talking about your ASHRAE standard, you using a case study of 1,000 capacity of a national theater. Now, let's remember that in HVAC, there's something called BTU. BTU means British Terminal Unit. Under the British Terminal Unit, you can see a situation whereby you might not be seeing your BTU as horsepower. Whereby they might be writing you tons. Tons means you can be seeing TR. That's some refrigerant tons. That's just a shortcut. Now, sometimes we have the indoor unit and the outdoor unit. Most meeting in the indoor unit now, they will call it fan call it. We have the fan call unit. Fan call unit is the one outside. Why do you have your condensing unit outside? So now, if you want to do an estimate, sorry for a break in transmission. So we have now we have 3.516 kilowatts. Is equals to what? 12,000 BTU. 9,000 BTU is what? 1 horsepower. So if so how do you determine the type of horsepower you want to use? 9,000 is equals to what? 1 horsepower. Divide your particular BTU being given and give you. But whenever you see 1.3 offer, show that get down. For example, using 50 by 55, and the floor area is what? 2,750 now, and the capacity is 10,000 capacity. First thing you do is your occupancy load. Occupancy load using an ASHRAE standard. ASHRAE standard, I think 62.1B under ASHRAE standard says sensible heat over latent plus latent heat. What is that sensible heat? We have 89.4 watts per person plus what? 159.7 watts per person. Added together, we have 249.1 watts per person. Now, how many capacity do we have? Times 1,000, we have 2,491,000 watts. And remember that 1,000 kilowatts, 1,000 watts is equals to what? 1 kilowatt. Divide it, we get 2,491 kilowatts. From there, you now move to what? Lighting load. Lighting load is what? Watts per meter square. And in this now, we're able to establish 3 watts. That's standard. 3 watts per watt per meter square. That's 3 watts times the floor covering area now. Now we have what? 8,250 watts divided by 1,000, you get 8.25 kilowatts for the whole lighting one. Now there's something called electrical gadget. Electrical gadget now, the one I wrote is 650 watts per person. One person, we have what? 5 watts, 5 to 10 watts. That's what 5 to 10 watts per person. Now, how many person do we have? 5 watts times I think per person of per floor area. I will try and get that one. I wrote it to one of my book. You get it. If you give you a particular watt, divide by 5,000. Miscellaneous. Do you see this exposure? Exposure talks about, okay, now you have your window, you have your door, you have your roof. It will be exposed to a particular this thing now. Now you must also put that one into consideration. It's between 5 to 10 watts and 10 watts to 20 watts. I will try and get that note for you. I'll try and snap it for you. You see the principle. So all these things are as a principle. At the end of the day, we now have our occupancy load 2491 kilowatts. Lighting load that's 8.2. We have our electrical equipment, which electrical equipment for one person 6.5 watts, 6.5 kilowatts, miscellaneous 7.5, exposure 8.5. So we have a total of what? 2,522 kilowatts. Remember that 3.516 kilowatts is equal to what? 1 tons. So how many tons are we buying now? We have 3,2,522 divided by 3.516 kilowatts. We get what? 717 tons. You now call a supplier now. How much is 1 tons? I'm not talking about supplier or vendor, as in the manufacturer of that particular AC you want to use. Remember that we have different AC in the market. If you are talking about best AC, you'll be talking about Daikin. Daikin is an Indian brand. It's one of the best brands. Daikin, Indian. You will talking about Panasonic. Panasonic is divided into two. You see Malaysia, you see China. You talking about Hisense. You will talking about media. You will talking about your LG. You will talking about Tamoku. You will talking about Kenstar, Polystar, and so on and so forth. But the 4 AC that a consultant will recommend for you is what? Daikin, Panasonic, Hisense, and let me remember, and media, followed by LG. Sometimes Kenstar and Polystar. Let me just say 5th and 6th. Now we have been able to determine an estimate now. From that estimate, you now add your what? Installation rate. Professionally, we usually have 35% of your material cost. We now give you an installation rate. Now, making 3,625, 362, 981, 250 as your approximate estimate for the AC to be used in that area. Now, it is now meant for the designer to now design the type of AC they want to use. Are they using VRF, wall mounted or ceiling AC? So it will not be determined. So equivalently, we might not be using close to 717 or lesser than that, but we are having an approximate estimate that is very, 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 very factual. So from there, heat and ventilation system. Now we want to talk about your package units now. Package units, you're talking about you're talking about your testing and commissioning, you'll be talking about your maintenance manual, you'll be talking about your, I'm trying to remember, maintenance manual, you'll be talking about you'll be talking about your training of your personnel now. So now, from there, you now be talking about your equipment. Your equipment, you be talking about your chiller system, AHU, they call it air handling unit. you're talking about all other one. You now be talking about your ducting system. You know what they talk about ducting system is an aluminum sheet. From there, talking about insulation. Your insulation will be used to wrap your pipes. I'm talking about your refrigerant pipe. We have two types of refrigerant pipe. We have the soft one and the hard one. Soft one are the one that will be in form of coil, while hard one we air diffuser, return air diffuser. You're talking about your grills. You're talking about your fans. You're talking about your piping system, your pipe fitting and insulation and the valve. You're talking about your pumps. You're talking about your buffer and expansion tanks. You're talking about your electrical, your cable, your cable, your isolator, your anything under electrical. From there, now, if you are talking about your single unit system, I'm talking about single unit system, I'm talking about your split unit system. Whereby I'm talking about your indoor and outdoor unit, your copper pipe, your UPVC pipe, your insulation, your electrical, so on and so forth. So now, so any question? Any question?
Sorry, sir. Have you sent me that particular file to my mail?
Yes, I'm about to send that one to you.
Okay. So,
I'll be
in
sending, I
addition,
think, 4 documents. I'll be sending like four
kind
documents to
everyone
you now.
kindly check the chat box for today's attendance. So, copy the link and fill the attendance. Thank you. Also, a little bit of announcement for those of you that are not aware. After some back and forth, it has been decided that NKS Southwest will be awarding certificates of completion to dedicated and constant members of this workshop, which is the essence of all our attendance, etc. and all. So at the completion of this workshop, which is the next lesson week, post completion, only dedicated members will be receiving certificates of completion. So thank you all. You can proceed, sir. Sir, you can proceed, sir. Sir, you can proceed, sir.
question. I'm trying to project this thing, but it's still.
Hello, sir. We haven't been hearing you before.
Based on
Hello, sir.
the,
Hello, sir. We haven't been hearing you
oh,
before.
yes, my network is doing somehow. Sorry for that. Let me just maybe my data is somehow. Data balance. I see how data now. See how enough data now. What's wrong?
Please let's exercise a bit of patience. I think our tutor is experiencing a bit of network issues.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you now.
Let me see if I can get a network somewhere else. Okay, sorry for that, Jerry. Please just permit you for that tonight. Sorry. So look at this my pictorial view. Pictorial view not showing. Where is the can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? This is a chiller system. Can you see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
We can't hear you again. Hello, sir. We can't hear you, sir.
Can we see my screen?
Yes, sir. We
Nobody's
can see your screen,
answering.
sir.
No.
Hello, sir. We can see your screen, sir.
Hello, sir. We can see your screen.
You can see it, sir.
Now this is a chiller. This is a chiller water system. You can see that we have our cooling tower, water chiller. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pump. So now look at the next of loading and assembly. Okay, let me show you some. AHU, that's chiller pipe connection to what? Air handling unit. So from there, we're talking about your VRF now. You can see my VRF. We have my outdoor unit outside, and we have my indoor unit might be your VRF mounted. Can have our ceiling cassette, or you have our conceal unit now. So from there, so I'm just trying to show us a what how it's being done. This is my VRF system now. You can see my outdoor unit now. You can see my branch controller now. And you can see my ceiling cassette. I can see my wall thermostat. So these are what?
Hello, please. I can't hear anything. Is it my network?
The tutor is having
Hello,
network
can anybody
issue,
hear
and
me?
I'm trying to wait for him to join in. The tutor is having network issues, so I'm waiting for him to join back.
Okay, thanks, sir.